Matthew continues with his cosmic mountain motif in Matthew chapter 17, verse 1 through 3, where we read, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John his brother and led them up a high mountain by themselves, and he was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light. And behold, there appeared to them Moses and Elijah talking with him. So right here we see Jesus holding a council meeting on a high mountain. Now, one of the things I really like about the Septuagint is in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. It's a famous passage, and the Hebrew version of the passage is fantastic. The Masoretic version, which is in our English Bibles, but the Septuagint translates that differently. And I personally don't feel the need to choose one or the other because they're both true and they're both awesome. In Isaiah 9, verse 6, it says that he will be called, it's the unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, his name will be called, and then it goes on. In the Septuagint right there, it says his name will be called the Angel of the Great Council. I think that's awesome. The Angel of the Great Council, the second power in heaven that Daniel chapter 7 talks about, is Jesus Christ. And here in Matthew chapter 17, we're seeing Jesus, the Angel of the Great Council, holding a council meeting on a high mountain. And some scholars believe the mountain Jesus ascends here with his disciples is Mount Hermon. And Hermon is the mountain upon which the Watchers descended in the days of Jared, according to the book of 1 Enoch, that led to the creation of the Nephilim. So again, this would be another spiritual warfare encounter that Jesus is intentionally doing by climbing up Mount Hermon, the mountain of the Watchers, in order to transfigure himself. This is deliberate. This is Jesus invading territory the rebels tried to claim for themselves. And he's climbing that mountain and he transfigures himself so there can be no doubt about who he is. So again, another example of spiritual warfare. He's picking a fight with the dark side on their own mountain. He's saying, I'm coming, I'm going to reclaim this territory that you have claimed for yourselves. But it goes much deeper than that. Jesus here is letting them know who he is and what he's about to do. The parallel account here of this incident is in Luke chapter 9, and Luke actually calls this the mountain. Again, intending us to have the cosmic mountain idea in our heads. And Luke 9:31 says that what Jesus, Moses, and Elijah were discussing on the mountain was Jesus' exodus, which he was about to accomplish at Jerusalem. So he climbed this mountain, he transfigured before him, he's holding a council meeting with Moses and Elijah. The angel of the great council, again, he's holding this council meeting with Moses and Elijah. And he's letting the gods know that he's going to win this war. He's going to save humanity, and he's going to kill both them and their children. These are the messages that's being conveyed here. Psalm 82 prophesies the death of the gods, and Numbers 24 and Isaiah 14 prophesy the death of their children. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of all that right now. That'll be for another lecture at a later time. But when Jesus does these things, he's messaging the dark side that their days are numbered. And again, the final one we're going to look at in Matthew about the cosmic mountain is found in Matthew 28, and this is after the resurrection. So Matthew 17, again, he goes up there, he picks a fight with them. Then the powers of darkness come, they attack him. We read about that, when Jesus said, this is your hour in the power of darkness. He allows them to take him to fulfill his mission, to die on behalf of humanity, to rise again, to then reclaim the nations, which will lead to the death of the gods and the death of their children. So again, Psalm 82, rise, O God, reclaim all the nations. That rise language is resurrection from the dead. It's one of the, in a Septuagint, and it's one of the Greek phrases used in the New Testament of resurrection from the dead. So the resurrection of Jesus seals their fate.